Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sky, and I'm going to be looking at each class in depth for World of Warcraft Season of Discovery and answering a very simple question. Is it for you? And in today's video, we have the Paladin. Today, we're going to be going over the strengths of the Paladin, what makes them great overall, the class's general features and gameplay style to see if it could be fun for you, the brand new spells and abilities come into all three specs in Season of Discovery, grading the class after these spell additions in comparison with the other classes, and finally wrapping it up with a quick summary of the class overall. Hopefully by doing so, we can steer you in the right direction to selecting a class that truly speaks to you. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the Comeback Kids are doing a giveaway for a free Rested XP leveling guide for your Season of Discovery journey. So make sure to subscribe and click the link in the description below to enter for a chance to win a free copy for yourself, or use our referral link to help support the channel today. Okay, now starting off with the strengths of the Paladin, they are one of the very few classes in the game that actually have access to all three role types with DPS, tank, and healing. All of their specs bring great unique buffs and gameplay styles to the table, meaning that they're always wanted inside of a raiding or group environment. The Paladin also brings some of the most utility possible in the entire game with their incredible buffs like Blessing of Kings for bonus stats, Blessing of Salvation to reduce threat generation for your allies, and all of their auras as well. Retribution Paladin is seeing massive buffs across the board, so it'll actually be viable as a DPS option as well come Season of Discovery. On top of that, they will also get free and reduced mounts at level 40 and level 60, saving you a ton of gold, giving you freedom to invest in different opportunities such as professions or gear. It's also important to know that the Paladin class is Alliance only, and you do not have access to this class on the Horde. Now, with Season of Discovery, I'm sure you all know by now that they are adding new spells and abilities through what are called rune engravings. These start from level 2 onwards, and there are even a ton of leaks that were data mined that unveiled a wide variety of different rune slots across your character. But as of right now, you will only have 3 different slots at level 25, which are the gloves, legs, and chest slots. First up for the Paladin, they have the Seal of Martyr, which causes your melee attacks to cleave up to 3 nearby targets and deal 30% weapon damage, but you lose health equal to 10% of the damage you inflict. While Seal of the Martyr is active, you will also allow your party members to gain a mana equal to 2% of the damage you take. This looks like it's going to be a great AoE option for Protection Paladins, giving you extra damage, and also giving you more utility being a mana battery as well. Next up, you have the very iconic Divine Storm, which deals AoE damage and heals party or raid members for 25% of the damage caused, which works exactly like the Wrath of the Lich King version, which Paladins are going to be loving. Next up, you have the Horn of Lordaeron, which increases strength and agility of all party members by a flat amount, but it is exclusive with the Blessing of Might. And lastly, you have Aegis, which increases your block value by 30%, and damaging melee range attacks against you have a 10% chance to increase your chance to block by 30%, but it's also important to note that this does not stack with the passive Redoubt in your protection tree. Moving on now to the next rune slot, which is Gloves, we have the Beacon of Light, where you target a party member with a beacon, and any heals you cast on other party members duplicate to the beacon target for 100% of the heal. Once again, this works exactly like the Wrath of the Lich King version, and if you used it before, it is a very powerful ability, practically duplicating all of your healing, allowing you to heal everyone else while you place your beacon on the tank. Next up, you have another instant attack, Crusader Strike, causing 75% weapon damage and regenerating 2% of your maximum mana, which is going to be huge for Retribution Paladin players out there because all throughout Classic, they didn't have a single instant extra attack, and already we have 2. Next up, you have Hand of Reckoning, which taunts the target to attack you, and also increases the threat bonus from Righteous Fury to 80%, and it causes you to gain mana when you are healed equal to 25% of the amount healed to you. This allows you to practically spam Consecrate and all your damaging abilities to keep up threat on you 100% of the time. Adding your taunt with this as well is a complete game changer to Paladin. It is going to shoot them up to probably the top of the ladder in terms of tanking dungeons. We will have to see how this reflects in raiding as well. And finally, we have our leg rune slots, starting off with a Divine Sacrifice, which converts 30% of all damage taken by party and members within 30 yards, being redirected to the Paladin for 10 seconds. You also get a nice damage boost if it brings you below 20% health, which could be beneficial as well. Next up, you have Inspiration Exemplar, which periodically allows you to dispel fear and sleep effects on nearby party members, which could be great for a raiding environment also. And then you have Avenger's Shield for Protection Paladins, which hurls a holy shield dealing damage, and this is a really big deal because it's giving paladins a ranged pull and a great way to open up combat initiation. You have Exorcism also, which can be cast on any target now and have 100% increased critical strike chance against undead and demon enemies. And lastly, you have Rebuke, which is now giving paladins an interrupt, which is going to be fantastic for PvP combat and stopping people from healing or dealing damage to you or your party members. Now, of course, when it comes to the runes, every class got some really great additions, don't get me wrong, but Paladins could very well be the best in the game. I mean, for PvP, Retribution Paladins in the open world are going to be an absolute powerhouse with all of their bubbles, lay on hands, massive instant weapon attacks, as well as off-healing. I mean, Protection Paladins are going to be fantastic for flag carrying, as well as dealing AoE damage and reflection against other melee DPS classes. And Holy Paladins are still going to be dominant with their plate armor and high damage mitigation, as well as big, chunky healing off of Holy Lights and Holy Shocks for PvP as well, and then still tossing out all their bubbles and Hodges for stuns also. Now, when it comes to PvE and leveling, we're talking about taking two specs that were known as somewhat of memes leveling up, completely revamping them into what could very well be just the top of the ladder heading into Season of Discovery. Retribution Paladins went from having 0 instant weapon attacks to now potentially having 3, massively increasing their DPS as well as them still retaining all of their exterior utility baked inside of their kit. Protection Paladins previously had no taunt and ran out of mana very quickly after just a few consecrations, now have a ranged pull with Avenger's Shield, a taunt with Hand of Reckoning, and consistent AoE DPS with Seal of Martyr. You know, combining all of this with their strong reflection capabilities and damage mitigation, they could very well be the #1 tank in all dungeon scenarios, no problem, just like Wrath of the Lich King. Then finally, giving Holy Paladin the Beacon of Light, which is one of the most powerful non-cooldown healing abilities in the game, duplicating all your heals. It's going to turn you into an incredible healer come Season of Discovery. Now, to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen, if you love the opportunity of being a very versatile class that has 3 different role types, a ton of utility, and now what looks like to be a very strong up-and-coming candidate for Season of Discovery, the Paladin can very well be a strong option for you. Paladins are plate-wearing Avengers of Light that have incredible versatility. Their biggest benefit is bringing blessings, bubbles, and auras to help their party members survive and thrive in combat. They have some of the best class fantasy in the game, with being one of 2 classes with an exclusive mount, and the Paladin is even Alliance exclusive, meaning that you can't play this class if you are on the Horde. And you're extremely sought after class for every group, duo, and even raiding environments. If you stuck it out with Paladin in Classic World of Warcraft, be ready, because in Season of Discovery, they got a ton of changes, and it looks like they're going to be one of the best classes in the game by far. In my opinion, this class got the most love and attention, and it's really going to show in just a matter of a few weeks. Now you know just about everything that we have been shown so far about the Paladin in World of Warcraft Season of Discovery, and there's really only one question left to answer. Is it for you? Let us know in the comments section below. Also, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye out for our other Is It For You videos for World of Warcraft Season of Discovery. And if you're interested, hit that subscribe button to join us on the journey throughout this exciting future that holds so many great things for World of Warcraft. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. It's an absolute pleasure to be making content for you all. Until the very end, my name is Sky from the Comeback Kids. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.